Afternoon team, this is Staff Sergeant Ree from the Edinburgh Army Recruiting Station. Today I'm joined by Mayor Gailey of Lake Stevens, Washington. Not only is he the mayor, he's also a 21-year law enforcement veteran and a colonel in the U.S. Army Reserves. We're going to be talking about leadership and the moments that have shaped both his military and civilian careers. Mayor Gailey, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. It's an honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Obviously, large support and passion for the local high school football team. And with one of the arguably strongest schedules in the beginning of the season, the Vikings are 2-0 against some stiff competition against Sumner and Bellevue.
Yeah.
As mayor, how does the energy and passion surrounding the team and the support of the students, what does that say about the community as a whole for you?
What's interesting. That's a great question. The high school team, there's some interesting vibes going on there, right? If you know Lake Stevens athletics, the high school team starts at the lowest level, the youngest level, and with not only coaches but the support from the high school, right? So if you're playing little league football in Lake Stevens, you're learning the same stuff that you're going to do in high school,
Right.
and that's really a Coach Ty thing that's been cultivated over the last decade, right? Mm-hmm. So now the city and the community is seeing the benefits of that program, where kids have grown up through it, and now we're producing these high school teams that are dominating. We went 2 years in a row with state championships. Missed it last year, but then, like you said, we beat Sumner #1 last week, the weekend before, and then Bellevue was ranked as well. So really a testament to Coach Ty and his building a program all the way from the kids, right? So something really interesting and fun that we did with during COVID time. So Coach Ty couldn't get his guys together during COVID, right? So one of the things we did is we did we needed sandbags filled for some flooding. So I reached out to Coach Ty, and we had all the football kids down there filling up sandbags, and it got them the ability to become a team and get together and do some really cool things. It's fun to have not only a winning team and a community that supports them, but further expands why Lake Stevens School District is a great school district and the support of the community of that district as well.
For sure. That's a great answer, especially because I've got a couple of prior football players from Coach Cruyff's program, and they have nothing but great things to say about the program. Because especially these guys that grow up in Lake Stevens, they come up from the ground up, and it's like just hammering the systems in place. And then when they get to high school, it's the same system.
The same system.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that leadership is creates more of a consistent winning team.
And he'll even do it with the coaches, right? So you might be the Little League coach this year. You might be on staff at the high school next year, and then you might go back down so that you have that fluidity of the system.
Right, because it just cultivates that relationship in the community too.
That's cool.
That's great. Yeah. So you've balanced being a colonel in the Army Reserves with being a mayor as well. What are some lessons that kind of Venn diagram between both of those worlds?
Yeah, so my career progression, law enforcement. Well, early on, obviously joining the military on the enlisted side, and then going through Boise State University and ROTC, I was on a full ride scholarship, and then jumping into the officer side. And so initially, I was a National Guard officer in Idaho, and then transitioned later into the Army Reserves. But during that time, I also had the law enforcement career. And so you really have this really interesting parallel where you're a police officer who's working on community problems and community issues, and then you also have this other career where you're leading teams and you're bettering organizations, and you have a mission focus, and those get really expounded when you go to with 2 tours in Iraq, right? Like you've got combat experience on leadership, and then you're combining that with that civilian career, which is really an interesting mixture, right? Yeah. So that when you become mayor, you take from both of those experiences, the leadership side, understanding how an organization works or should work, inside or outside of chaos, right? And then you have this community building side of the law enforcement, and so it really positions me differently than a lot of my fellow mayors who I've had, I want to say, some decent training along the way to get me into the right mind frame to be able to run the city.
Right. I think one of the strongest things about your resume shows that you don't have just like that macro expertise, you've been on the ground, like have that micro picture where it's you're looking at the citizens individually. And now I assume that as a mayor, like all those micro little pictures, you can piece it together a little bit faster than maybe some people.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that track, both those career tracks have done for me is created like this ability to listen to people, and it may not be what you, and the answer I might give you may not be the one you want, but it's the one I'm that I see as the best fit for the community, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a strong argument because obviously there's a difference between people pleasing and then being like a leader for your community.
Absolutely.
Like at a certain point, and I know you know this as well, just in the military, sometimes the answer that you're going to give your junior guys is not the answer that they're going to want to hear, but it's like the right thing to do, and we have to move forward with this.
Absolutely.
What is a challenge that early on in your mayoral career you were kind of surprised by? Like you either didn't see it as being a challenge, or maybe it was something that you were completely blindsided by.
So when I became mayor, it was right before COVID, right? So I entered thinking we were going to build a Costco and fix some sidewalks, right?
Yeah.
And then we got punched in the face with COVID. But there were some blessings in that it let me sit back a little bit and look at the organization. And real early on, one of the things I implemented was Lean Six Sigma training within the city, because we've got to be efficient with the dollars we do have. And out of that training, one of the things I do every Friday morning is I'll go for a ride. I'll grab my city administrator, I'll grab my public works director, and I'll randomly grab someone else, and we'll jump in the truck and we'll drive the city, and we'll look at, are we doing a construction project? Have we had a complaint? Like whatever we need to work on, we'll go look at on those Friday mornings. And real early on, I came to the realization that our city in 2008 was 8,000 people. We're 43,000 people now. But city government and services hadn't grown with that growth, right? So I realized real early on that I needed to work on the organization. And being a cop, I knew cop stuff, right? Like the cop stuff wasn't that big of a challenge for me, but public works was. And maybe not the administration side, but public works was. So one of the things I immediately went to is I went to the American Public Works Association conference, and I learned, what's a shovel, what's a skid. I mean, I kind of knew that stuff already, but I just understand how that works. And what I came back from out of that was I'm a checklist guy, right? So I like to do. We went through the American Public Works Association accreditation, and that took us 3 years to get through that. It was a hefty task.
Extensive, yeah.
And so what that did for the organization is it changed culture. It changed the ability for us to provide services. And I think that our service level has gone up greatly.
Yeah.
Our ability to know what needs to be done in the community has changed. And then internally, organizational change was huge. When you have accountability, sometimes you have people who've been here for a long time who don't want to stick around for it, right? That's fine. We'll give them an opportunity to go somewhere else. But that new guy who comes in, he knows he's going to get on his cell phone 3 work orders today, and he knows he's got to get these done. That's accountability, right? So it's funny. People will ask me, like, hey, what's the coolest thing you've done as mayor? And they're expecting, like, a sexy park or something like that. But for me, like organizational change,
it's the
infrastructure, making sure we've got a good base of government that's doing efficient work with the money we have, like that's a win.
Yeah. I think one of the strongest things that I've noticed about good leaders is they do get joy out of those infrastructure wins. I had a funny conversation with one of my older buddies. We were playing like flag football. The leaders that were like doing the small things correctly, right? Like running their routes and like making the feints instead of trying to like stand in the pocket and throw the big pass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the real workers were the ones that were like doing the small stuff every single play, every single day. Creating the infrastructure so other people can succeed. I think that's pretty indicative of the Army as a whole, and I think leadership as a whole, of just being like, hey, like you need to find joy in the small infrastructure wins as well.
Absolutely, spot on. Right, because there's always kind of a saying in the military that I always thought was interesting, that like leaders come and go, but the team's always the same, right? Like, and that's very, very true. Like I could leave tomorrow, and I know that I've set a good base layer for the next guy to come in. As long as he doesn't screw up the team's there, and we've got the right infrastructure in place for it.
So you wear a lot of different hats: mayor, colonel, husband, father, managing all these different circles and communities. How do you figure out what comes first? What do you prioritize? What's your method?
That's a daily struggle. I mean, just to be honest with you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a daily struggle. Like, you always want to keep family first, but you can't always keep family first, right? Because there's other things that pull you, right? I think for me, it comes down to really managing time, and I'm not the greatest at it. That's another problem, right? But for me, I think one, from the cities, from being the mayor, knowing that I have a good team, knowing that I don't have to do it,
Yeah.
right? Knowing that I can say, hey, director so and so, I need you to do this,
Yeah.
and I know you can do it, and I know you can task it down if you want to, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's fine with me. Like, I just need it done. So that's really important, since I do have a lot of that stuff going on. And then yeah, as far as family's just always tough, and
Yeah.
you try to get that text a day at least, or that call a day, whatever it might be. I got a brand new grandbaby that I've seen once. I tried to see him yesterday and just didn't work out, but we'll do it tomorrow, right? Like, you just try to fit it in.
Yeah, that's a strong answer. Honestly, with family in the military and obviously your career as the mayor, juggling so many different things, it's one of the biggest challenges for my career. And so I can only imagine it's one of those things that is like a daily, right? Like you said, like it's a daily fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you try to take the weekend trips, like when the weekend comes and the weather's good, you got to make the effort. You just got to get in the car.
Yeah.
I've definitely had that experience where I'm just tired,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, like we can go camping. I'm not such a huge fan of camping anymore, especially because like the military's kind of ruined camping as a concept. But no, but like like I still try to get out because my wife likes to, the kids like to stay up, do the thing. So I can definitely understand that.
Yeah, no, I do a lot of camping. I've got kind of essentially two batches of kids, right?
Yeah.
And my youngest batch is 4 and 3, and I've got a Jeep Gladiator with a rooftop tent on and the fridge in the back, and I can throw some food in it, and we can be gone in 30 minutes, right? And even if it's overnight, let the wife have a little break. I love doing that.
So I think for me, over the course of my tenure as a father and as a leader in the military, my quote unquote advice for the younger generation has kind of changed through the years. Whereas where I was young, it was more gung ho, like get after it, do the things, do everything. And now when I talk to my daughter or I talk to my junior soldiers that I keep in contact with, it's more of like, be bold, but like take chances and like stop and smell the roses, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Especially because my daughter's in high school and she's going to be going off to college soon. It's like one of those things where it turns from have they achieved everything to have I set them up to be the best adult that they can be?
Yeah.
Right? Are they going to give back to the community? Are they going to do something for the world? Are they going to be happy themselves? For you, what is your best piece of advice for the younger generation of Lake Stevens?
Yeah, you've got some great advice, right? Like when I was growing up, it was, hey, when you're done with high school, like you got to go to college.
Yeah.
Like there were some certain expected milestones you have to do, and I don't think that's true anymore.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, my stepson Landon. He's 20. He goes to BYU, Idaho, and I think he does that out of comfort. But one of the things I keep telling him is like, go get some experience, right? Like go. If you really want to be a great community member has had experience with other people, other languages, other communities, other experiences, right? That they bring home, right? Military community is great about that. You go to a military community and you'll find a plethora of all kinds of people with all kinds of experience, and that makes a really cool community, right? So I think my biggest advice for any young kid is like, take that first year or two in high school or even during high school, right? And go get some experiences, right? And maybe it's not, getting your degree or whatever it is, but go, because you're not going to get that opportunity again.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it. And I'm a big military fan. I'm usually hey, go join the military. Like you're going to see things. if you don't like it, great, get out, go do something else. But you've spent some time getting some experiences that you can draw back on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty crucial too, is because when I was growing up, like you're right, like there was that life plan, and the military kind of threw a wrench in it. But looking back, it's like it is by far the best decision that I could have ever made for like my 20s, and then that being said, I like it's the same advice, right? Because you're not going to get the time back,
Right.
and so and you have all this time. And I think we've kind of created this urgency, like this fake urgency,
Right.
for them to like go do the career, do the steps, like do everything to
Go
the
get in the workforce.
Yeah, go get in the workforce, like get promoted.
Yeah.
Where it's like really, it's like you have all that time. Use this time to like really like explore.
But like get those experiences that when you do, if you do go back and you want to learn something, you know what you're wanting to learn.
That's a huge point too. It's because a lot of these, the younger generation that goes to school and they just don't know. It's like just take a year.
Yeah.
Just take some time.
And I think anymore in the workforce is changing, right? The idea that you've got to have a bachelor's degree in computer science or whatever it is, right? Like that's getting antiquated. It's really like what minimal skills do you have, but what have you done with those skills, right? Like what have you built? That's what's going to get you hired, not the CS degree from UW.
Yeah,
it's already antiquated by the time you get it because
exactly.
CS is, right? Like
Anyway, I mean, it's been antiquated for a while. Like, especially with like the job saturation. But yeah, like that was kind of like the fake sense of urgency that was placed. And I think that so I've talked to a couple educators in Mukilteo as well as Lake Stevens, and one of the biggest concerns that I always bring up the Army as an alternative is during the COVID time, like a lot of the kids that are graduating now, they missed a lot of that key like communication building, like the interpersonal relationships type stuff. Not through no fault of their own, but it's just one of those things that they're maybe like a step or a half step behind on. And I think one of the biggest things that one of the educators out of Mukilteo said to me was like, I think the Army's a really great opportunity, especially because it's like you're forced to work as a team. Right?
Absolutely.
You're not going to succeed by yourself. You never do.
Yeah.
And so it's like one of those things where in order to bridge the gap, it's definitely one of those options that I've kind of pushed my foot on. Not just about the college degree.
Yeah.
It's not just about the money. It's not about the paycheck or healthcare. Like we need these skills to be able to build a portfolio to show people like, hey, like what have you done? Like you said.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You know, my oldest son, he did 4 years in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Funny guy. Like he loved the kid. So he came out of high school a year into doing absolutely nothing. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I've got an appointment with the Marine Corps recruiter on Thursday. And I'm like, no, you don't. He goes, yeah, I do. I go, okay, you'll be here Thursday night. So he comes over Thursday night. He goes, okay, so I'm joining the Marine Corps, but I'm just joining the reserves.
Yeah.
I go, no. Like the reserves are for people that have a life and you don't have one.
Yeah.
So you need to go get some experience. You need to go make some friends. You need to go, get some discipline. You need to get a skill. Like, go for 4 years. He goes, okay, fine. And he did. He went in the Marine Corps for 4 years. Changed his life.
Yeah.
Right. And what's funny about we were talking about, and he didn't grow up during the COVID thing, but he wasn't quite. He was just missed the COVID thing, but if he's calling somebody about having a new baby last week, it's his Marine Corps buddies, right? And you don't get that anywhere else. 100%. That camaraderie, that esprit de corps. He'll be calling those dudes when they're 50. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's truly a testament to the family that military builds, whatever branch. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think one of the strongest ways to talk about that is like I have buddies that have gotten out of the service and they live in like XYZ states, and I know that if I go to that state, my family has a place to stay. You know, like it's one of those things where it's like it's impossible to build that anywhere else. Yeah, absolutely. So Corbin, he also went through Skills Bridge. For the last 6 months of his Marine Corps enlistment, I got him into a firefighter academy up Whidbey Island. So he came back into that. I don't know if you sell that or not on the recruiting side, but it's huge. So that's the thing is like you try to like plan out the life plan for some of these guys that are 17, 18. And because we've done such a good job at trying to like do the milestone thing, good job. They don't see
the surrounding like infrastructure that could support it. So I've been honestly trying to find a way. One of the best ways that I find is like, hey, like if you're working a 3-year contract, it's really 2 years. You know, that last year is you out processing, and then get this skill bridge.
Totally.
They've never heard about it.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah, Corbin was at Fort Dix,
mm,
and he came all the way out here for his last 6 months.
nice. Yeah, right. Yeah. So in my armored career, I've had this on repeat where senior leaders say, take the pictures while you can. You'll regret it when you don't, or when it's too late. What's one picture that you wish you had that you don't have?
Probably some pictures from when I was at Boise PD, and that embryonic start of law enforcement and family, right? Because at that time I had Acacia, my oldest. We also had Cinia, right? And I don't have a lot of pictures from that. I wish and I'm older now, so I don't remember it all. So when I look at my two new little dudes and I see stuff and I'm like, I don't quite remember my oldest like that, right? So I wish I would have taken more pictures and not only taken more pictures, but journal.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Like journaled it out. Like, hey, this is how I'm feeling today. And Acacia did this today, or Weston did this today, whatever it is. That would be my life regrets, probably.
I think it's easy to like look back at that stuff. Because for me personally, it's like, you know, the deployment pictures that you wish you had taken with the people that you were closest with. And, you know, like when you're young, it's like cheesy and stuff like that. To like take the pictures. And then when you slowly start reaching like the twilight of your career, you're like, oh man, like I really wish. But journaling, I've never heard that take. But that's super interesting because you could just look back and it's more than just the pictures. It's the words that you were thinking.
And you know, in today's AI world, like you don't have to sit down and even type.
Yeah, you can just
talk into your phone.
Yeah,
build it out.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and interesting. I do a lot of stuff with AI. So one of the things, I mean, could you take that Instagram account that you've had for 10 years, apply it to an AI tool, and have it write your story?
Yeah. Just give it a snapshot of everything and then see where it spins it.
It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, might have to try that.
Yeah.
Mayor Gailey, before we leave, do you have anything from your team that's up and coming, or something in the community that you want to like push out there?
You know, the city's doing well. We've grown so much, and from a team standpoint, from a city team standpoint, I'm just really appreciative of all the staff and all the work they do. It's an incredible amount that they do. They don't always get the accolades that they should. But I've got a really solid staff, whether it's the guy working in the parks or one of my directors, right? So they're doing great work. We'll continue doing what we can in the community to build better community. It's not always easy with restricted funds, but we'll just keep working and meeting with the community and seeing what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the best way for the Lake Stevens community to connect with you?
Email this right here. You know, my Starbucks with the Mayor I do twice a month.
Yeah.
We're actually doing a town hall in October.
Okay.
Email to me, give me a call. People are actually surprised that I actually answer my cell phone. So however they want to get a hold of me, you can access me.
Sure. Yeah. Mayor Gailey, thank you for your time today and for sharing your experiences with us in the community. It's clear that your leadership and passion has been at the core of your civilian and military career. With that being said, thanks for letting us take a closer look at the man behind the titles, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
I appreciate it. Appreciate the time. Yeah, thanks, man.